We are live at Coletco for tonight's live Facebook record sale part 2. Part 2, that is. 901. It's not 901, it's 1101, right? At least I hope so. Okay, so shout out to Paul. Me and him's been talking for about the last 20 minutes. I'm here and probably just gonna try to sell y'all records while I get accustomed to everything that's around me here, because being gone this long and literally just getting back, I've got to figure out what's around me, what to sell, what to show, and we'll try to figure that out. And we'll figure that out here pretty soon. So I got to essentially get organized and then end the sale and get ready for a real full week here at Coletco, which involves all my normal routines: ordering vinyl, pricing vinyl, tagging vinyl, showing vinyl, organizing vinyl, selling vinyl, tagging vinyl. All right. This is me. I'm in the flesh. Probably a lot of people didn't expect me to come back and start a show on Monday at 11. It was in the works to come back and start a show at 6 or 7, but here we go. Let me close out of everything. Thank you, Paul. Have a good day. Or not. Yeah, I just woke up. Okay. So I think Paul had said he'd went through all the auctions. So if that is true, then I'll see what's left over here. There's a lot. There's a couple lights that are out over here. Paul must not be a fan of some of these lights over here, because some of them have been off. And now it's messing with my flow. But I'll figure it out. So let's see what this crate is right here in front of me. Usually I'd be like, okay, well, this is up for auction, but the problem is I think all that has sold. So we'll figure out what's in here. These were marked 12, 15, 25. This looks like new John stuff, right? Looks like new John stuff. So I don't know if Paul has been taking offers on it, but I'll go ahead and get my brain warmed up doing an exercise crate of reading through titles. I'll go through an exercise crate of reading titles and calling out prices and best offers, okay? And you can buy them now or make an offer. Let me get my chat pulled up over here. I'll probably be live for an hour or two, see who all gets on, and more importantly, figure out what, it's good to go live to figure out what's around me and what's left, so I can get ready for tomorrow. I didn't want to show up tomorrow at 5 and be doing this right here like, well, I don't know where anything is, blah, 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 blah. So it's good for me to go ahead and start trying to get stuff sorted now instead of doing it tomorrow when it's game time at 5 o'clock. So here we go. We'll say everything in here is buy it now, best offer. I'm sure Paul just went through these, but 12.15 is today. Looks like new stuff John price. So let's go ahead and read through them one more time. This is Flatt and Scruggs in shrink wrap. It's $19.99. It's on the Harmony label. No condition notes on that. $19.99. What happens in Vegas? Well, about the only thing that happened out there was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. I was pretty tired when I dropped off my mom and sister this morning at the store. We basically hadn't been to bed. That's why I had to go home and sleep. So I've slept for about 6 hours, 7. I got a lot of sleep, which I had to get caught up on to be able to do this and be able to get ready for tomorrow. Bob Dylan, Planet Waves is $24.99. Bob Dylan, Planet Waves. Genesis Abacab, $19.99. These are all make offers, so don't hesitate to do that. Y'all know that. Genesis is $19.99. Hall & Oates, I don't think I've seen this one. This is a 12-inch single, one-on-one, and Art of a Heartbreak. Hall & Oates is $9.99. Any bonus auctions? You know, that's a great question because I'm not for sure what all was left from this week or the week or the Friday and Saturday. But there's always a crate here of Kiss stuff. And let's see what's going on with this copy of Destroyer. This is I guess today was slightly Kiss night, right? I kind of looked at the hot pictures, but they handled all that. This is a 2014 U.S. reissue. It has got the inner sleeve. It's an EX condition, and Destroyer is a $15 start. Also have Elvis Presley, Viva Las Vegas. I was talking about him a lot this week. Most of the hotels he played in out there are no longer standing. This is a 1961 Indianapolis press, $39.99 for that. No condition notes. We have Tom Tom Club. That's an 81 Winchester, $34.99 on that. That is Tom Tom Club. Super nice copy, no condition notes. And then the Pretenders, Learning to Crawl. Back on the Chain Gang, $24.99. No condition notes on that. It does have the original on her sleeve. These are all buy it now best offer. Mott the Hoople, that is $19.99 for Mott the Hoople Live. And Woman Out of Control, Ray Parker Jr., $14.99 for Ray Parker. And then the Everly Brothers, End of an Era, $14.99 for the Everly Brothers, End of an Era. This is a 2 LP. Looks like it's a compilation of Everly Brothers music, $14.99 for that. And then Average White Band and Benny King, Benny and Us. So that's Benny King with Average White Band, $9.99. Kiss is one of the 2014 remasters. It's just a $15 start, and it is a final call. Also, I have Kiss, Lick It Up. And Lick It Up is also going to be a $15 start. It's also an 85 USOG. It's a Hop Hog Press, VG Plus, $15 start. Hello, Mike Cauldron and Chad Snyder and everybody else that said hi as soon as I went live. Sean Miller and John Griffin. Welcome all back. Welcome all back. Should be in a normal routine for the rest of the week. I think last Friday, for those that really are interested in new vinyl, new releases, I'm sure there's stuff that showed up today and Friday. And, of course, they didn't have any prices. They didn't have access to waiting lists. But that's good because tomorrow we'll have new vinyl to go through, and I'm going to order more tonight. So we'll have great stuff to show and tell. We have Rod Stewart, A Night on the Town. That is $14.99. And the best of Chad and Jeremy, A Summer Song. That's a good one. $9.99 for Chad and Jeremy. We have Shorty Rogers and his Giants, The Swinging Mr. Rogers. I know the other night we had a VG copy of this we sold. Here is a Near Mint Minus copy in shrink. Shorty Rogers is $14.99. And then we have Elvin Bishop Group. Elvin Bishop Group is $14.99. Looking for Rush Presto. Do you want a new sealed remaster copy that they recently put out? Or are you looking for an OG Presto? OG Prestos don't come through as often. OG Prestos do not come in as often, by no means. Kenny Begley on Destroyer for $15. You're probably talking about this right here. And he has Lick It Up for $15. So both of those now have bids. The Doobie Brothers Stampede. The Doobie Brothers is $14.99. And over here, this is Diane Davidson, Mountain Mama. That's a pretty cool cover. Diane Davidson's a 1972, $19.99. Kenny has the high bid on both of those. And this is Zappa in New York. Frank Zappa is a 2 LP, $34.99. That is available. And we have Merle Haggard, Serving 190 Proof. Merle Haggard is $14.99. Merle Haggard, Serving 190 Proof. The International Hilton is the Westgate. His showroom is still there. Oh, really? Okay, so you could go and see where Elvis actually did a show in Las Vegas. I did not know that. 1 second, please. Also, just getting back to town, so I've pretty much zoned out a lot of messages and text, and I think I started replying to some people earlier when I woke up temporarily, like 6 p.m., and then those people started texting me back, and I was like, man, I can't do another 3 days without texting them back. So, let's see. One second here. All right, so first thing we're going to do is sell Kenny Begley, Leak It Up for $15. Thanks for the birthday wishes. I know a lot of people, I usually do sales on my birthday, and so a lot of the wishes are shared there, and I'm going to let everybody know I'm back in town tomorrow, and I'll be doing the sale for the rest of the day. Shout out to Paul and the whole staff. This is sold to Kathy for $25. It's great to know Zappa sold to Kathy for $25 and Kenny gets a Destroyer for $15. What I'm trying to say, but I can't spit it out, it's great to know if I do want to take 3 or 4 days off, everything will still run here smoothly. Like I told Tanner, I was like, if it's an emergency, reach out, but I'm going to take truly about a 3-day zone out of Coletco to reset. And Paul always does a great job. But then everybody else too. I mean, Paul's doing this, but everybody else, like they're still shipping, they're still invoicing, customer service. Laura and John still marking records. Steve's still packing stuff. G's still packing stuff. Jake's still here watching sales. Jack's still putting stuff in alphabetical order. So everybody's still doing a great job. If I want to take off again next week, I can. It's good to know I have that in place if I want it. Class of 55 is $24.99, so a Merle Haggard. Class of 55 is Carl Perkins, Jerry Lewis, Roy Orbison, Johnny Cash, and then there's Waylon. Are You Ready for the Country? He is $24.99, so thanks everybody for that. The whole reason of Vegas, I didn't really go to a show. We went to the Wizard of Oz at the Sphere. And that was an experience. I did catch an apple, too. So the big thing is when the apples fall from the ceiling, I did actually catch one, and it fell pretty much right into my lap. And I think I had an advantage being a little bit taller than most. I just reached up and... But, man, that was a wild thing. If you haven't a chance to go do that, I'd never watched a movie in that kind of an experience. This is a 1978 USOG. It has the original on her sleeve. And Paul Stanley's a $15 start. That's now but for bid. We have CCR, Willie and the Poor Boys, $34.99 for Creedence Clearwater Revival. Willie and the Poor Boys, $34.99 for that. These are all buy it now best offer. The Kinks Volume 2 is $14.99. So this is tonight's newest arrivals. And everything in here is buy it now best offer. Coletco taking applications. Actually, we are for a couple different strategic positions. I don't think we still actually put that on the market yet, but yes, it's coming very soon. This is an 82 USOG Hop Hog. Unfortunately, though, it's VG minus. So, but it's a playable copy of Creatures of the Night, $10 start. Knocking out a couple Kiss bonus stuff that probably Seth didn't even, man, I just called Paul Seth. A couple bonus auctions over here that Paul didn't probably even know was over here. Here's another Zappa Overnight Sensation. $36.99 for Frank Zappa. The Waylon Jennings is called Are You Ready for the Country? That's one of his original studio albums. Gatefold jacket, correct first label, $24.99. Paul Stanley's at $15. Mike Cauldron has Creatures for $10. Michael Nesmith, pretty much your standard ranch stash. That's Michael Nesmith from the Monkees, $24.99 on that. And Hall & Oates, Everything Your Heart Desires. That's a 12-inch single from Hall and Oates, $12.99. His Greatest Sides, Bo Diddley, Bo Diddley, Bo Diddley. This is a Canadian press, $24.99 on that. Paul Stanley's at $15. Creatures of the Night is an 82 US OG Hop Hog, VG minus condition, and a VG or VG minus cover. Paul Stanley's about to be sold to Kenny Begley for $15. We have Blood Rock Live. Blood Rock's a Gatefold 2 LP, $29.99 for Blood Rock. And Neil Diamond's Greatest Hits Volume 2, $9.99 for Neil Diamond. And Neil Young Live Russ. That's a Gatefold 2 LP, $39.99. I also knew I had to come here tonight just to get things back in order. So also the flip crates. If y'all noticed, I did record all the flip crates. Actually, when my mom and sister pulled up Thursday night at 3 a.m. for us to depart technically Friday morning for our flight, they were walking in. And if you go listen to that last Monday morning video that was probably posted today, you can hear the door chime. And that was me up until the last second before I left filming all the flip crates, which I'm glad I got all those scheduled because I was so worried to miss one. But I also got to come here, and I'm going to go ahead and probably do that again. I'm probably going to go ahead and schedule them like in advance, probably do them like 2 or 3 ahead of time. That was pretty good. That way I don't have to worry about doing it every single night. We have Rick Wakeman, White Rock. Rick Wakeman's $19.99. And we have Tony Orlando and Dawn Primetime. That was $9.99. And then Zappa's $24. So Todd Saw got the Waylon for $20. Thank you. Creatures has a new bid for $12. Christina Curtis on the Hall & Oates. And Christina, I'm assuming you're talking about this one right here. Everything Your Heart Desires. That's OD for $8. Kenny Begley gets Paul Stanley for $15. So still didn't, third time to Vegas, still didn't do some stuff I wanted to. Still didn't go to the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop. Still didn't go to Fremont Street. And we was out there another 3 days, the longest I'd ever stayed out there. But there's always too much to do, especially if you have a couple people that's never been. You know, you have to take it all in. It's just so much, almost overwhelming, honestly. All right, here's a copy of Kiss Alive 2. Boy, this is a nice one. I shouldn't be putting this up this late unadvertised, but this is a nice copy of Alive 2. So, Mike Cauldron, you're out on Creatures. Scott Arnold has it over on Twitch for $12. This is a 1985 pressing. Okay, and if you look this up on Discogs, there's a note we have here. This usually sells. This usually demands pretty good money for a reissue. I don't know if it has something to do with the mastering or they just didn't make a lot of them. But this is an 85 US reissue, VG++ EX and shrink wrap of Kiss Alive 2, $45 start. $45 start on that. And then over here, this Kiss is at $14, now $15. Okay. All right, so there's that. And then next thing is this. Let me see what this offer that just came in on eBay. And here's this. And here's this. Okay. And let me send that over to Tanner. All right. Let's see here. All righty. Boom, boom, boom. And boom. All right. Any coin silver yet? Yeah, well, Michael, the other night we went through a lot during the sales. I don't know if you were watching. What night was that? Wednesday night, Thursday night? We sold off a ton of gold and silver. And I said your name a few times. I just don't think you were watching. But yeah, we've actually got a lot. We actually have a lot. So Creatures is now at $20. Alive's a $45 start. If you want a price on anything left in here, let me know. This looks like new stuff for tonight. Probably the second time it's been gone through because I'm sure Paul went through it. Now I'm going through it. So there's Flat and Scruggs. There's Bob Dylan, Planet Waves. Genesis Abacab. Elvis Something for Everybody. Hall & Oates. Tom Tom Club. The Pretenders Learning to Crawl. Mott the Hoople Live. Ray Parker Jr. The Everly Brothers. Benny King. Rod Stewart. Chad and Jeremy. Shorty Rogers. Elvin Bishop Group. The Doobie Brothers. Diane Davidson. Merle Haggard. Class of 55. Creedence Clearwater Revival, The Kinks Volume 2. We have Zappa. We had Michael Nesmith. We have Bo Diddley. We have Blood Rock Live, Neil Diamond Greatest Hits 2. We have Neil Young, Live Rust, Rick Wakeman, Tony Orlando and Dawn, and then Zappa, Ship Arriving Too Late to Save a Drowning Witch. Scott Arnold gets Kiss, Creatures of the Night. That is sold to Scott Arnold. Thank you on that, Scott Arnold. Let's put that away. And then Kiss Alive 2, final call to get a bid in for $45. And it looks like John dropped off some incredible 45s. Paul was just telling me he had just recently found those. And we'll probably try to hit some of those a little bit later tonight. Neil Diamond Greatest Hits Volume 2 was $9.99. I guess there's a new movie coming out about Mr. Neil. All right, let's do Double Platinum then. So Double Platinum is a 78 U.S. Club. It's a 78 U.S. Club, an RCA Music Edition, 2 LP gatefold, VG condition, a $20 start. Double Platinum, $20 start on that. I'm going to just take this crate off the table. If you change your mind and you're like, you know what, Chad? You've been out of town. I hadn't really had a chance to buy a lot of records. I bought some from Paul, but you know what? Since you're back and it's time to celebrate, just give me the rest of the crate. Just go ahead and ring me up. I'll take everything that's left in the crate. And I'll be like, okay, sure, we can do that. Right, Tanner? Yeah, won't be a problem at all. Okay, so let's find something else to go through best offer. Let's see what date is on these. December 10th. December 10th. Sounds like a possible half-off crate. Do we have the buyers on for a half-off crate? I mean, it is time. This is the time of the night I would be doing a nonsense crate, you know. I know I just literally started, but this would be the time I would do a nonsense crate, right? So, let's first go ahead and make a live 2. I buy it now for $45. That's a nice copy. And then, yeah, let's look at the gatefold. There's the faces. Always hard to show. There's Gene and Paul and Peter and Ace. Okay. The movie is about a Neil Diamond impersonator. Oh, really? Wow. Christina has double platinum at 20. My birthday is on the 12th. My birthday was on the 12th. So this crate here is marked December 10th. And it needs to be our nonsense crate of the night. Like I said, if I had started the show when I normally do at 5:30, 6:30, this would be the time of night we'd be doing a nonsense crate anyway. So let's go ahead and do this. This will definitely expedite some sales. And from here, we will just figure out what to do next. I don't know. Let me text Paul. Did Paul go through CDs at some point? Paul might have went through CDs at some point. Let me ask him, did he go through these CDs? Let me pull up my messages with Paul. And I'm going to say, did you go through these CDs in the crates? Okay, send that to Paul. He's probably driving, but he might get a chance to glance at a red light or something. Don't text it while driving, especially if you're working at Coleco. I don't need anybody to have a fender bender. Okay, double platinum sold to Christina for $20. And we might be able to knock out this whole crate here behind me. I'm excited just to see what's all around me and getting ready for tomorrow's sale and get back into a groove. I could have very easily told Paul, just go ahead and end it, and I'll come back tomorrow and figure it out. But I figured being live an hour or two would help me get organized and get ready for tomorrow more so than trying to come here and do it at 5 when the show starts. Plus, I need to get out of my house. If I don't get out of my house, I don't get a lot of time just to lay around and sleep. And so my body's like, Chad, why don't you go ahead and go back to sleep? You're getting very sleepy. Go back to sleep. But Michael Rudolph, if you stay on here in a minute when I kind of clean up and wrap up vinyl and we get into maybe miscellaneous part of the show, which is the whole reason I showed up here, we can go through some coins. This is a 1978 USOG Pittman. Here's another chance at Peter Criss. Okay, and Peter Criss is a 1978 OG. It does have the inner sleeve, the poster, and the merch insert. This has everything. It has the poster, the merch insert. This is everything for the Peter Criss. Now, this alone, these right here are alone worth a $15 start. That's all the complete inserts. Not a bad copy. VG Plus. It has a clip corner. There's your chance at an OG Peter Criss that's complete. Has all the inserts. $15 start. Kiss Alive 2 is an 85 US reissue. A 2 LP gatefold with the inner sleeves and shrink. VG Plus EX. A $45 start. Nice copy. Okay, so let's do a half off crate. First thing in here is Rod Stewart, Blondes Have More Fun. $6.50. Self-explanatory here. I'm going to tell you the price. It's no more, no less. Rod Stewart is $6.50. Peter Criss is a $15 start. It's complete. It has all the inserts. And then there is the the other auction was Kiss Alive 2, which was a buy it now. We just sold a Lick It Up earlier. Here's another Lick It Up. An 83 USOG Hop Hog, VG condition and VG jacket. Just a $10 start on Lick It Up. $10 start on that. We also have Fleetwood Mac Mystery to Me. That's VG Plus, $9. So this is a half off crate, no more, no less. There's Rod Stewart. There's Fleetwood Mac. Also, Hall & Oates Along the Red Ledge. Hall & Oates is EX Condition, $9. Peter Criss, 15. Peter Criss, 15. Peter Criss, 16. Question was missed, but I'll take Neil Diamond 2. I Googled search. Oh, I did. Does it have Sweet Carol? I did not see that at all. Sorry, I was probably talking about Las Vegas. I apologize, Todd Saw, but I'm glad you'll take it anyway. That's my bad. As always, if I don't answer a question, sometimes I have to ignore stuff because it's ridiculous questions. But if it's ever a serious question about a record, I promise I'm never ignoring anybody. But thank you for that purchase, and that is poof, gone, sold to him. Next over here is Cock Robin, and that is $7.50 on that one. And then Joe Cocker, Sheffield Steel. That's a gold stamp promo, $12.50. So this is a half off crate. No more, no less. Roslington Collins Band, Anytime, Any Place, Anywhere. That's $12.50. And then Lick It Up is a $10 start, which Super McCauldron has the high bid. Super McCauldron, are you a first-time bidder buyer? I've been away for a few days, so if there's new people on here that got registered with Paul, you'll have to let me know. Usually if I've gone 2 or 3 days, then I miss the some of the new buyers that may be on that get registered, or some people are under different handles, etc., etc. But I think you are registered. Thursday, October 23rd, Mike Cauldron. Okay, that's Mike Cauldron. Okay, you're just over on YouTube. I got you now. Peter Criss is at 21. Everybody else is out. This is a half-off crate, no more, no less, including the Young Rascals collection. Shrink wrap with the I've Been Lonely Too Long hop sticker. That's $10. We also have Peter Frampton. That's I'm In You. Peter Frampton is $5. I see that nobody has bought the back records yet. So Paul sold something right here. I can't remember what it was, but he replaced it with Moon Air Safari. There's Rush, Hold Your Fire, Ace Frehley, New and Sealed, and then Rush, Fly By Night. So all those are still available. Peter Criss is at $25, and Joe Cocker, with little help from my friend, $17.50. That's a good one there. With Jimmy Page and Steve Winwood, $17.50 on that one. Peter Criss, 21. Peter Criss, 25. Lick It Up's about to be a $10 buy it now unless somebody bids. Jefferson Starship Red Octopus is $7.50, and King Crimson USA. King Crimson is 20 doll hairs, not dollars. This one's doll hairs. King Crimson, $20 on that one. So that was $39.99. Now it's 20, and then King Bittersweet. King is $5, half off crate here. No more, no less. $5 on that. And we have Boston Third Stage, $17.50 for Boston Third Stage. Gatefold jacket, no condition notes, $17.50. He bid 10. Oh, okay, that was Kiss. So you were bidding on Lick It Up. My bad, Mike. I know who you are, and I know what you're bidding on now. So now you have Lick It Up for 10. Final call. And then Greg Bendinger's also bid key at 10. And then over here we have Peter Criss. And that was a final call to Larry Gonzalez for $25. It's an OG VG, complete with everything. The inner sleeve, the poster, all the lyric insert, It has the poster, the merch insert, and the regular insert, and the inner sleeve. So that has everything, okay? So what pressing of Air Moon Safari? The most recent new in-print pressing. That is brand new and sealed. $29.99 on that. Now Greg Bendinger has Lick It Up for $12. We have an offer on a live, and a question on a live. This is a 1985 U.S. reissue. A 2 LP gatefold. It has both inner sleeves. It's in shrink. It's in EX condition. And the note was, these demand pretty good money on Discogs. This is the... This is a $45 buy now. We got an offer for $30. Let me think on that for a while. 2 other people just asked what it was. So right now we'll say it's at $45 buy now, or I'll take a really fair and reasonable offer. Okay. All right. Vegas trip was great. So the Sphere experience is pretty remarkable. It feels like you're immersed inside of the movie. So where we were sitting at the top, I think is probably the best seats. It feels like you're wrapped around the screen. So like when you're in the room with Dorothy back when she's in Kansas, like in her living room, when you look up, it looks like the ceiling is above you of their cabin or their house. So you get this immersive experience that you're surrounded inside of the movie. It's something you have to experience with your own eyes. So if you ever get a chance, go check out The Wizard of Oz. I mean, it felt like you're inside of the film. It's a really incredible thing. Okay, it's really incredible. What's the bid on Peter Criss? $25 on Peter Criss. Lick It Up is at 15. Greg Bedinger's out. We're in a half off crate right now, and I've never went this far in a half off crate, not sold a record yet. So I know it's late, and I started a part 2 at 11 o'clock without people knowing I'm getting on here. So this is a great opportunity because we're about 1/3 through the half off crate and we hadn't sold anything. Usually by now everything's gone. ZZ Top is $12.50. That's a gold stamp promo. Ella Fitzgerald sings the Rodgers and Hart songbook. $15 on Ella Fitzgerald. $15 on that. And then Doug and the Slugs. Doug and the Slugs. That's a RCA radio special series, which is essentially a promo compilation. $7.50 on that. And then Corey Hart, Fields of Fire. $7.50 for Corey Hart. And George Harrison, Gone Tropo. This is actually sealed. It's never been opened. $15 on that. Yeah, it's like IMAX, but imagine the screen all the way around you. And then they do live 4D effects, like leaves are swirling during the tornado, apples fall from the ceiling. You know, they're in the monkey scene where they're flying monkeys. Flying monkeys are actually flying through the arena. So yeah, it's like IMAX on steroids with 4D effects and more. The sound is better too. I know IMAX is known for incredible sound, but it has incredible sound. Some of the best I've heard ever for any kind of movie, for sure. The ZZ Top was $12.50. Christina Curtis gets Corey Hart. That's sold to Christina Curtis. Larry Gonzalez gets the Peter Criss for $25. And then Lick It Up is sold to Mike Cauldron for $15. All right, pretty good there. So it looks like we just have one offer on Kiss Alive. Tyson, how about 35 and I'll sell it to you? I was asking 45, you offer 30. How about 35? That'll get that sold. And then Sully gets ZZ Top, okay? The George Harrison was sealed, now just $15, okay? And then we'll reduce that to 35 if he wants it. All right, glad to be back. We're rolling through some auctions here. We're going to go ahead and put up another copy of Destroyer. And Kiss Destroyer is VG minus. It has just a couple light fieldable marks. Should pop, but really, when you first glance at it, it doesn't look too bad. And that's why we're going to start this OG Destroyer. 77 repress, $10 on that. $10 on the Destroyer. And then Alive is sold to Tyson Morgan for $35. All right, that's sold to him. And also in here, we have Steppenwolf Rest in Peace for $10. So half off crate, no more, no less. If you're just kind of hopping on, I kind of wanted to stop by. When I got into Tennessee today at 1 p.m., I was out front talking to Paul. 1 p.m., which the show is supposed to start between 5 and 6. I had not been to bed. So if I went home and slept for just a few hours and came right back, I figured that wouldn't be the best way to end hopefully a vacation where I'm supposed to be like resting. So I decided to go home and sleep like a full good allotment. I was like, I'm not going to set alarm, just whenever I wake up. That's what I told Paul. I was like, whenever I wake up, and if you're still going, I'll let you know if I'm coming in. So I woke up and I was like, okay, I'm coming in, and we can do a little bit of a late part 2 to try to get some vinyl sold. And if anything, I've got to come here anyway and get ready for the rest of the week. So, all right, Mike Cauldron has Destroyer for $10. And I actually have another Kiss Alive 2. Not as nice as that one. This one is an 85 US reissue. Same pressing. and it has the inner sleeves and booklet, but there is some really bad damage to track D3. Okay, everything else is really nice. Let's try out track D3. Okay, there are evidently some. Let me figure out where that is here. Side D3, track D3 maybe. I see what he's talking about. Right here, it looks like a scuff. Yeah, it's got like a really nasty bugger right there. So, you know, it hadn't been test played, but it has a really bad feelable mark right there. Everything else on this thing looks super nice. So it has the book and the inner sleeves. Kiss Alive 2, $10 start. So at one time we had a thing called the Kiss Graveyard. This is called the Kiss Graveyard, and we had hundreds and hundreds of Kiss records where I always told John, don't put out any Kiss, don't price them, blah, blah, blah. This was years ago. So over 2 or 3 years, we accumulated dozens of copies of certain albums, sometimes as many as 50 copies of a certain album, like Alive 2. And we're now getting into those, and a lot of them are low grade. So we clean them and tag them for auction, because if they're nice, you know, then they're going to be a good record. If they maybe just a worn cover. But some of them actually have pressing flaws or something, but they're still playable. May cause a little hiss during that track or a pop, but otherwise that looks like a pretty good record. So Mike Cauldron, you're out on Destroyer 12, and then Alive 2 has a bid for 10. All right, this is a half off crate, and this is Iron Butterfly Live. Iron Butterfly is $10. We also have the Unicorn, the Irish Rovers, $6.50 on that. And Doctor and the Medics, Laughing at the Pieces. Doctor and the Medics is $10. Asia Alpha is $10. And we have Leo Sayer, World Radio. Leo Sayer is sealed, $7.50. Joe Boxers, Like Gangbusters, $5 on Joe Boxers. And Elton John, Empty Sky. This is a UK copy. It's on purple translucent vinyl. So his first album, and it was actually not reissued in the United States until later. $17.50 on that. Any Metal Tonight. If we had Any Metal Tonight, that was all sold earlier when Paul was live. So, of course, Paul started the show tonight at 6 o'clock. He went live until almost 11, at 10:30, 11. And if there was anything Metal Tonight, which I think it was, it's all gone. So whatever was in the hot pictures tonight was probably about as metal as it gets. And I don't think there's anything left over. So whatever was in the hot pictures today, it is all gone. Yeah. It is all gone for sure. Next thing over here is James Gang, 16 Greatest Hits. James Gang is $15. And Elton John, Victim of Love. Elton John is $10. That's in shrink wrap, and Elton John is $10. No condition notes on that. So yeah, it looks like Paul posted some pre-orders today. Rancid, The Crow, I see David Bowie, Scorpions, Judas Priest. Yeah, I guess all that sold earlier tonight. Next is Sergio Mendes in Brazil 66. That is $7.50. And then Outlaws, Hurry Sundown. There is pretty much a big clip corner here, almost like a rounded corner. That's $8.50. Cheryl Smith gets the James Gang Greatest Hits. That sold her for $15. Okay, so Destroyer over here had bids for 10 with Mike Cauldron, 12 with Greg Bendinger, and 13 with Mike Cauldron. So Greg Bendinger, you're out on the Destroyer. And the Kiss Alive 2 just has one bid for $10, and that's with Jay Beach, and we're about to sell that one. The Guess Who number 10, that is $10 on the Guess Who number 10. The Best of Manhattan Transfer, that's $5. Eric Squindo on the Sergio Mendes, that's a cool cover too. Crystal Illusions, that's sold to Eric Squindo. The Paul McCartney Interview, $10 on Paul. And then Whitney Houston is a UK copy, I think. It definitely feels different. It is. It's a UK, actually a German press for the UK. $12.50 on Whitney Houston. Sully on Manhattan Transfer. Destroyer has a new bid for $15. Joe Cocker live in LA. $15 on Joe Cocker. And Joe Jackson Band is $10. And if you just hopped on, that was the, quote, nonsense crate, because we, if I had started to sell normally, that would have been about the time we would be doing this anyway. With that being said, I'm going to grab a bottle of water, which I didn't drink very little of in Vegas, because honestly, it's so expensive. If you're trying to stay healthy in Vegas on water, and hydration, you're going to spend a lot of money. Bottles of water at the hotel stores are like 18 bucks. It's crazy. So I'll wait till sometimes I'll even see it like I didn't really gamble much at all. I just played blackjack a few times, but I kind of just wait for the waitresses to come around. They have bottles of waters on those trays. I was like, hey, let me have one of those. Of course, they're free. But man, if you go to buy water in Vegas at a casino, it's about 7 times more expensive. Everything is expensive. See, I always thought the first time I went out there, I was like, oh man, everything's cheap in Vegas. Everything's cheap in Vegas. They just want to get you out there. This, you know, your room, you can get free rooms, you can get free meals, blah, 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 blah. Let me go ahead and tell you right now, that's all fake news, okay? There's nothing free and cheap in Vegas, okay? Nothing cheap and free in Vegas. Kenny. So the half-off crates are always half off, no more, no less. So I will sell you Whitney, but it will have to be $12.50. Have to be $12.50. Have to be $12.50. Buffets are $89. They are not cheap anymore either. So the Wynn buffet for me, my mom, and sister after I tipped was $290. So 3 buffets, $290 after tip. Invoices did go out. Yeah, all invoices are out. I hadn't got to talk to Ed, but yes, invoices were sent today, and everybody got one. Okay, so let's figure out where we're at. Destroyer over here, Mike Cauldron has it for 15. No, you bid 15. Greg Beddinger already bid 15. All right, so Greg Beddinger already bid $15. And so you're out, Mike Cauldron. And then Alive is at 15 with Mike Cauldron. And that's where we're at, okay? Now, the first thing is this. Eric Squindo, all invoices went out. And then Jay Nutra put wood. What was wood for, Jay Nutra? You put wood. And then Todd Saul wants to know the songs on Whitney Houston. But it's already sold to Kenny Begley, okay? That is already sold to Kenny Begley, so he gets that. All right, one more quick read-through. This is a half-off crate, no more, no less. This is going to be super fast recap in case somebody hops on that wasn't on earlier. This is the nightly half-off, no more, no less crate. Okay, Rod Stewart is EX $6.50. Fleetwood Mac is VG plus 9. Hall & Oates is EX9. Joe Cocker is $12.50. And then we had Cock Robin, and that was $7.50. Rosin Collins Band was $12.50. The Young Rascals is $10. Now Destroyers at $16 with Mike Cauldron. And now Jay Beach has Alive for $16. Peter Frampton's $5. Didn't get my beta band record, okay? Yeah, just always message Ed on Facebook or send Coletco an email. He also gets those through Square, and he will take care of you. So today's a big invoicing day, and then he normally starts on customer service. The next thing he does is tomorrow really works on. Tomorrow he only works on customer service stuff. Joe Cocker, Little Help from My Friends, that is $17.50. Jefferson Starship is $7.50. King Crimson USA is $20. We have King Bittersweet, that's $5. Boston Third Stage was $17.50. Doug and the Slugs RCA Music Series was $7.50. And then Ella Fitzgerald Sings, the Rodgers and Hart Songbook, that's $15. So now, Kiss Alive is up to Greg Beddinger. Mike Cauldron has it for $16, and now he also has Kiss Alive for $17. Now Greg Beddinger has Destroyer for $17. Mike Cauldron, you're out on that. We have Seal, George Harrison, Gontropo. That is $15. And then Steppenwolf, Rest in Peace. Steppenwolf is $10 for Rest in Peace. Iron Butterfly Live is $10. The Irish Rovers, the Unicorn, $6.50 on that. Doctor and the Medics, Laughing at the Pieces, $10. David Jennings on Boston Third Stage. Final recap on this half-off crate. And then, over here, I'm going to reduce these in the morning for the 9 a.m. flip, so I would get something if you wanted one in here. Asia Alpha for $10, and then Leo Sayer is sealed for $7.50. Joe Boxers Like Gangbusters is $5, and then we have Elton John. That was on the purple vinyl. Now you got to hold it up to strong light, but it will turn translucent purple, $17.50. And we have $10 on that Elton John. Outlaws was $8.50. And then very quickly, the Guess Who was $10, Paul McCartney $10, and then Joe Cocker $15, and then Joe Jackson was $10. Okay? So Kiss Destroyer $17, sold to Greg Beddinger. And then over here, we had Kiss Alive, and this is sold to Jay Beach has it, and it's sold to Jay Beach for $18. Some people have made me really sad on the Christmas ornaments because I thought we had enough for everybody who made an order the week we had. So the week we did the sale where I walked through the store, right? If you made a purchase that week, everybody was supposed to get a Christmas ornament. I don't know if we ran out or maybe it was in y'all's orders and y'all didn't see it, but I know it kills me. Absolutely kills me. Super Cauldron, you went out on Destroyer and then you bid. I had to go ahead and sell it to Greg Beddinger. I thought you were done. You said Kiss Destroyer out. Once you say out, I thought you were done. I went ahead and sold it to him for $17. But man, it like makes me so sad when I was like, all right, let's give everybody a free this or a free that, whether it's a free sticker, a free ornament, or a free anything. And then, sure enough, I'll find out like 50 people somehow didn't end up with one. And I'm like, how in the world did this happen? By the way, I just got logged out on Restream, so let me log back in here. Coletco. And it just, I hope y'all understand, this is like, the greatest thing I want to do is give away free stuff like ornaments and stickers and promotionals. The worst thing I can do is also give away stuff. So the best thing I can do is give away stuff, and the worst thing I can do is give away stuff. Because somebody's going to get left out and feel like they're purposely getting left out. And then the positive is somebody's getting something free from Coletco, like a promotional item and a thank you. So it's nearly impossible to give stuff away. Even if we say for 2 weeks straight or 3 weeks straight, we put one in every order, meaning 3 people would get a sticker or 3 ornaments and 3 this. There's still going to be somebody who didn't order that week or that week before or the week before that, and they've been buying from us all year, and they're like, man, I've been buying all year and I didn't get an ornament. Well, it's because we can only ship them with that week's orders, and somebody gets left out. Whew, man, I've never been able to do this correctly. It's been one of the most stressful things ever to figure out how to give everybody something for free. It's nearly impossible. We're now up into the thousands and thousands of customers if you add everybody up collectively, and that's impossible. That would be a feat to get everybody a free ornament. It probably also cost about $10,000 to do it if you total up the cost of the ornaments and if we shipped them all individually. So probably costs more than that if we finally sat down and was like, okay, we're going to send everybody who's ever made a purchase, and then the logistics of having to mail them out separately. So, yeah, I told, it was supposed to be done at random, but I thought we had enough for everybody. And then sure enough, like probably 50 of our most regular customers somehow didn't end up with one. And it's nobody's fault here. It's just the way it falls. I don't understand it. I have no idea how it happens, but I've told everybody I'm going to have to be like the Grinch or Scrooge and say, bah humbug. If I give away something, it's probably going to cause more problems than good. So it's just very highly unfortunate. It's never worked out great. I've tried with stickers. I've tried with ornaments. I told Jake when it was his idea to make them, I was like, Jake, we're going to try this, but let me tell you right now, this is not going to end well, because I don't care if I have you make 1,000 of these and we ship them for 2 weeks straight and everybody's orders. There's just no way everybody's going to get one. It's just impossible. There's just something happens, or it could be five. It could even be 5 people, but they could be regular customers. And I'm like, how did you not end up with one? So guitar picks. I'm out on anything unless somebody wants to buy it. That's why, like with t-shirts, I'm like, you got to buy one, because man, t-shirts are really complicated. All the colors, the sizes, trying to get them ordered, get them here, and then get them in their order. Because if you have to ship them separately, then it's just like, yeah. So it's a challenge. Rush Lot should be in this week, okay? Rush Lot should be in this week. So if you got an ornament, congratulations. I think that's why I made a post. Hey, if you want to buy one, if you for sure want to buy an ornament, the only way I can guarantee you're going to get one of these on your Christmas tree is if you say, hey, I want one, and Jake's making a custom batch just for those people that want to be tagged and charged for one. So it's like, all right, let's get in the Christmas spirit. And then I try to give away over something. I'm like, oh no, 50 people, 300 people got the shaft for Christmas. They're going to hate Chad forever. This is going to end in the worst possible way, where they get mad and be like, oh, he hates me. Okay, next auction, another Kiss Alive 2. Another Kiss Alive 2. This is a 1977 US OG. It has the inner sleeves. It's VG minus and probably a VG cover. We're going to start that one at $10, okay? $10 on that one. I think the post for ornaments, let me see what happened over here. There's Coletco. Let me see when I made that. It was probably about a week ago when I announced we were going to do it. It's also hard to get word out, because if you don't have Facebook, it's really hard to get word out that we're doing something like this. Because for those that just use Twitch or YouTube, it's really hard to reach y'all. So yeah, they are $6.99, but I don't know. Jake can probably make more, but I think he already made the extra ones. But yeah, see, I mean, we sold about 50 through this post, and I think he made another 50, because I think we sold 50 more on this post probably. And that was the best way on those. So I guess we need to go through it and make sure everybody got tagged. And I don't know if they were keeping a list of who got one or not. I mean, it was at random, but I thought we had enough for everybody that week, but evidently not. So, oh well. Thanks everybody for being great, understanding people. I have had a couple people almost lose the cool on me, and I'm like, oh, it's supposed to be a happy giveaway. I end up shooting myself in the foot. Nothing new here. Okay, so there's that. It's midnight, and I feel like the show just got started because I started about an hour ago. Here's what we can do. We probably are about to go through miscellaneous and 45s. That's probably what I can do for about another hour to wrap up tonight's sale. New vinyl. New vinyl came in Friday and today. So we'll have a great batch to show tomorrow when the store starts. I got to sit down and order all the pre-orders. I got to sit down and order new releases for this week and waiting list and restocks. That's going to be fun and exciting. And I'll just leave it up to y'all. Or I can say good night, and I'll see y'all tomorrow about 5, 5:30, 6, 6:30. Got to really go through this store. You know what they say, after you get back from vacation, you almost need a vacation. You almost need a vacation after you get back from vacation. It's like, oh gosh. Whew. I have really bad pressure on my ear. So my ear, when I'm landing, it feels like it's about to explode. And it just got back to normal when I woke up. But when I pulled up earlier to talk to Paul, I couldn't hear out of my left ear. It was just ringing with intense pressure. So I just text Paul. He went through some CDs the other night. He told me this crate on top's been gone through. The crate on the bottom is new. So one night this week we'll have to do CDs because I've got quite the stack over here. And it looks like he's dug up some more. So we'll probably at least do one. I probably need to go through these 45s over here and see what John has marked. Paul found some great auction ones too. And if he found some great auction ones, that tells me that we are officially into some new batches of great stuff. Okay? That's what that's telling me. So yeah, let's maybe try to go through some of these, and I'll try to go through some other stuff too. Okay? We'll try to show some coins and et cetera, et cetera. Pink Floyd. As of right now, I don't know what has come in. I can try to flip through this. I don't recall seeing an invoice yet for Pink Floyd, though. I don't recall seeing an invoice yet for Pink Floyd. So I don't think so, unless it shipped today. I'll try to get a status update on that tonight. All right, so Kiss Alive here is sold for $12 to Mike Cauldron. Sold to Mike Cauldron for $12. All right, so yeah, we'll probably go through some 45s, maybe a handful of CDs. Probably go through, show some of the coins and silver, et cetera, et cetera. Try number 3, the Guess Who. You're kidding. Todd, what's up with your comments? Are they not showing up? So first thing is this. Christina got Elton John purple vinyl, right? Yep. Okay. And then over here, Todd saw, let's see what he said here. The Guess Who question was missed. No worries, I'll take it and my chances. And the question before that was, is American Woman on the Guess Who? And then there's Todd saw again. Try number 3, the Guess Who. Wow. You're having bad luck tonight, Todd. You're like me at the blackjack table. So what you're trying to ask and claim is the Guess Who. Now, the Guess Who, in fact, does not have the song American Woman. But if you still want it, just let me know. And that's $10, okay? Yeah, it looks like there's 2 crates. It looks like there's 2 crates of new vinyl. And I think some stuff showed up today and they didn't even unbox it, because they knew they didn't have prices and they knew it wasn't going to be shown anyway. So yeah, there's 2 crates here, I think, from Friday, and then there's some more. I think these are the Rush lights. Let me see what this box says. Yeah, this is from my, this is the lights. So we got lights here too. We'll do those tomorrow, start tagging those. I think that's one of the 2 big bands that's been a new pre-order, okay? And I've got to lay down my blue tape. We got a few blue tape violations back here. That means some of the tubs have got slightly out of order, but that's okay. We'll fix that in just a second. Okay, so Todd Saw says he does want the Guess Who for $10. I don't know about, I have not looked through any of the new vinyls, so we'll start with that tomorrow. I would not miss tomorrow at 5:30 whenever we're showing that, because that's stuff that came in Friday and stuff that came in today. Okay? I have not looked at it. I have been in this store for about 1 hour, and I've been live for 50 minutes, right? No, I've been in the store about an hour and 10 minutes, and I've been alive for 10. So I have not had a chance to even see who I am. I don't even know who I am. So, yeah, I couldn't make any of the 6 a.m. videos, but I've got 9. Blue tape violation. Yeah, well, I organized this store. Well, we got some good 45s coming up. I'm about to start going through them. I organized the store, and I've got basically emergent or caution tape I'm about to put on the floor where nothing gets out of hand over here. And my next project is this side, and that's the way it's going to be. And if nobody likes it, then they can leave. My blue tape violations. Everything's got to stay within a certain parameter. Okay. We have Rob Basie and DJ Easy Rock. Times are getting ill and joy and pain. These are $6.89 unless I find something else. If I find something else, then we'll auction it either tonight or another night. Blind Melon, No Rain. That's a good one, $6.99. Talking Heads from Naked, A Nothing But Flowers. Dwight Yoakam, Bury Me. And then we have Clint Black, Straight from the Factory. That's from 1990. Senor Blues, El Chicano. And we have The Who, I'm a Boy, and In the City. These are all $6.99. $6.99. Those are some pretty good singles there. So we have The Who, I'm a Boy. We have El Chicano, Senor Blues. Clint Black, Straight from the Factory. Dwight Yoakam, Bury Me. The A-side on that one is It Won't Hurt. So to Vicki Allison. Talking Heads, Nothing But Flowers. And then Blind Melon is sold to X-Wing 81. We got Joy and Pain, which is Lewis Kulik on Rob Basie. And we have The Who, sold to Darren Johnson. That left Talking Heads, Clint Black, and El Chicano. El Chicano. Also over here we have Red Skelton, The Pledge of Allegiance. Allison Moye, Invisible. The Beginning of the End, Funky Nassau. The Platter, Smoke Gets in Your Eyes. Picture Sleeve, The Beach Boys, Don't Worry Baby, and I Get Around. That's pretty cool. The Hollies, The Air That I Breathe, and The Knack, Good Girls Don't. Those are all $6.99. $6.99 on all those. First come, first serve, all $6.99. Michael Rudolph on Red Skeleton, that's sold to him. And that left The Knack and the Hollies and the Beach Boys and the Platters and The Beginning of the End and Allison Moye. $6.99. I think it's going to take me 3 hours tonight just to figure out what has come in, what didn't sell, and what's been shown the last 2 or 3 days I'm gone. Always nice to take a trip, but if you own a business, you pay the repercussions of taking time off. Got a great staff, but it's always like, man, what did I miss? Where's everything at? We have Journey, Open Arms. Here's a cool one. Dude Looks Like a Lady, Aerosmith. George Harrison, Got My Mind Set on You. Joan Jett, I Love Rock and Roll. Johnny Mathis, Merry Christmas EP. Trini Lopez, Greatest Hits. And Dolly, Picture Sleeve, I Will Always Love You. That's pretty cool. Those are all $6.99. Great 45s here. They're all $6.99. Chris Frazier on Aerosmith. That's so to Chris Frazier. X-Wing gets Journey, Open Arms. And the rest of these are also $6.99. Like Dolly, I Will Always Love You. Trini Lopez sings his Greatest Hits. Johnny Mathis, Merry Christmas. Joan Jett, I Love Rock and Roll. And George Harrison, Got My Mind Set on You. Those are all $6.99. These are also $6.99. So Lewis Kulik was second on Aerosmith. Vicki Allison was third. Etta James, At Last. Etta James, $6.99. There's another Dwight Yoakam, Guitars Cadillacs. John Anderson doing Seminole Wind. Nice, 1991. Peter Cetera, Glory of Love from Karate Kid, Part 2. This is A Taste of Honey, Boogie Oogie Oogie. And The Police, Synchronicity, Part 2. Nice singles here for $6.99. Where's my bottle of water? I'm going to need it. Wash down all that Las Vegas out of my system. All right. So first is Vicki Allison on Dwight Yoakam. $6.99. X-Wing 81 on Peter Cetera. Sold. Sherry got Dolly. Hold on a second. Oh, Dolly was in the last handful, wasn't it? Yeah. Dolly's right over here. So to Sherry Darnell. And then Etta James, you're second on that, Sherry. Still got The Police, Taste of Honey, John Anderson, and Etta James. I didn't give Etta James to Sherry. Okay. Let me do those last few again. Dwight Yoakam sold to Vicki. X-Wing got Peter Cetera. Sherry got Dolly, and Sherry got Etta. Okay? All right. How much? 45s aren't graded. These should be. Well, I've always said this. When John puts these out, he tells me these are all VG Plus or better. So there shouldn't be anything VG Plus or better. But for the cost and the time it would take, we just kind of say, if you want to make sure you're getting something the grade you want, I would ask. If not, then they're all VG Plus or better. But most of these he kind of flips, and then he has a discard crate that has all the low grade stuff. So I'm pretty sure he goes through thousands that are low grade. Prince, and this one is When Doves Cry. The New Colony 6, I Can Never Lie to You. We also have The Highwayman, that's cool. And then the Go-Go's, We Got the Beat. The Delegates, Convention 72. Hawkshaw Hawkins, Lonesome, that's on the King label. And Glenn Campbell, I'm a Rhinestone Cowboy. These are all $6.99. So we have Glenn Campbell, Rhinestone Cowboy, Hawkshaw Hawkins, the Delegates, Go-Go's, We Got the Beat. That's a cool one, The Highwayman. And then the New Colony 6 and Prince, When Doves Cry. 17 days, yeah. I think what he does is he glances at them, flips them over. But if we took the next step to like clean and grade every one of these individually, then we probably wouldn't be able to do this. So what I do is he gets them all together. I sort through them. Sometimes I set a few things aside that I want to auction. But and then of course we got stuff we know we have to look up. We have stacks of stuff that's like, okay, this could be a rare funk record worth $1,000. And then some stuff we know could range anywhere between 5 and 20, and I'll just put them up for auction. I'll be like when we was doing all that New Orleans stuff, it's like, man, if we had took time to look all those up, we'd still be going through them. You know, our back room would be overflowing. All right, Glenn Campbell is sold to John Griffin for $6.99. And then David Jennings got Prince. I was waiting for somebody to buy that. I usually auction these and start them for $10, and they go up from there. So, all right, let's go through this handful. This is The Carter Family with Johnny Cash, A World Needs a Melody. June Carter, I Pitched My Tent on the Old Campground. Roseanne Cash, got a lot of cash there. Cash, Carter Family, June Carter, and Roseanne Cash. Tennessee Ernie Ford, The Star Carol, the Christmas EP there. Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs, Sally, Don't You Grieve. And then Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs, Mama Don't Allow It, and the flip is New York Town. Let's do one more. Big Bad John by Jimmy Dean. Those are all $6.99. Chris Frazier on RC, and that was for Roseanne Cash, 7-year 8 picture sleeve. Is this some kind of promo? Yeah, this is some kind of promo. Roseanne Cash there. These are all $6.99. I had Jimmy Dean, Lester Flatt, Earl Scruggs, Flatt and Scruggs, Tennessee Ernie Ford, June Carter, and the Carter Family with Johnny Cash. And then back here, I have one more, the Carter Family. And then I've got two more Princes. Let me check this one. This one might be worthy of a fast auction because that's one I hadn't seen in a while. This one, same thing, but I'll go ahead and make it a buy it now. So here's a Prince buy it now, just like the other one. Let's go crazy. This one I'll put up for a quick auction here in just a second. Probably should wait till tomorrow, but if you're hanging with me, then these are just $6.99. This is Chad's return trip from Vegas extravaganza. It was like a different world for my mom and sister. They had never really ever gone to any place like that. All right, Michael Rudolph, you're watching. I'm going to start going through some silver and gold too. We'll start with everything I know I've already shown before, but you may be interested in. This is a really cool piece. This is Darth Vader. Star Wars, The Golden Dawn of Skywalker, silver bars. These are 1-ounce colorized art bars featuring Darth Vader and a stormtrooper. Darth Vader looking very menacing there. Those are $100. We've already sold one, maybe two, and I have two left. $100 on the nose for those. $100 on the Star Wars art bar. All right, next handful of singles. So I'm about to start be showing some coins and silver and other metal, precious metals collectibles while I'm going through 45s. We got Rodney Crowell, Let Freedom Ring. We got Kinky Friedman, Sold American. That's both promos. Also a promo is the Charlie Daniels Band, Drinking My Baby Goodbye. Grand Funk, Feeling All Right. And then we have the Dillards, Rainmaker, promo for the Dillards. Charlie Daniels, Sweet Louisiana promo. And Murray Head with the Trinidad Singers, Superstar. And that's from Jesus Christ Superstar, $6.99. Michael Rudolph wants a Star Wars bar. I have one left. I have one left on the Star Wars bars. Thank you on that. That's sold to him for $100. Thank you on that. Wow, they got a lot of stuff in here. They've been putting in A, B, C order. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. A, B, C, D, 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 ba, da, da, boom, boom, boom. Okay, nobody on this handful. A lot of interesting promos there. Murray Head, first of all, then Charlie Daniels promo, the Dillards promo, Grand Funk, I don't see too often. Another Charlie Daniels promo, Kinky Friedman, and Rodney Crowell promo. Kathy DeMoss from earlier wants the Highwayman and the Hawkshaw Hawkins. You got it? Hawkshaw should be right in here. There's the Highwayman, and then that looks like Hawkshaw right there in the king sleeve. Nobody on the Go-Go's. We got the Beat or the Seminole Win, John Anderson. That's surprising. But these two are sold to Kathy for $6.99 and $6.99. Let's do another quick handful of 45s. Too Late to Turn Back Now. That's a good one by Cornelius Brother, Sister Rose, Cher, Dixie Girl, and Crow, the king of rock and roll. There goes Mark, wants the Kinky Friedman promo. You got it. And he's going to take the Grand Funk. Feeling All Right, which is the Traffic Dave Mason song. That is sold to There Goes Mark. Okay, so here are, let's do these $30 ones first. A lot of cool silver tonight. And probably this Sunday, especially since I missed, well, first of all, since it's the end of the year, that's the first thing I should say. Since it's the end of the year and Christmas is rapidly approaching, I've got to start liquidating some stuff. So we just got one of the biggest drops ever of bullion, and we hadn't done like a truly dedicated coin and knife show in quite some time. So I plan on doing that this Sunday. I think I do owe my mom, even though we just got back from a trip to Christmas shop in Nashville on Sunday, but I think we can get an early enough start. I can come back and do a coin show. All right, these are pretty cool. These are 2026 quarter-ounce Britianas. New, 2026. They're pure silver, quarter-ounce with King Charles on them. Those are $30. $30 on those. Quarter-ounce 2026 King Charles. $30 on those. Okay? 30. $30. All righty. And then we had those we've already shown. So, Michael, those are quarter-ounce, and they're $30. They're 2026 Britianas. All right, more singles. These are all $6.99. Free Bird, yeah. Leonard Skinner, $6.99. Rodney Crowell, Stars on the Water. Rodney Crowell, Song for the Life. Grandma Got Ran Over by a Reindeer, Elmo and Patsy. We have a Hall of Fame Columbia deal here. 33 1/3. This is Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs. And then we have Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs, California Uptight Band. Wow. I don't see too many Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs picture sleeves. Someone dated it, 9/23/67. Wow, a Lester Flatt Earl Scruggs picture sleeve. Boy, he looks rough. I don't know which one that is, but it looks like he's had a long, hard life. $6.99. So John Griffin wants It's Too Late to Turn Back Now. That's sold to him. And then Vicki Allison on Free. She wants Free Bird, yeah. All right, and then over here we got Michael Rudolph on a quarter-ounce silver for $30. Thank you on that one. Boy, my ears are buzzing. My ears are buzzing. And then from my inner ear from where I flew, every once in a while, like hisses. It goes zzz, zzz. I don't know if Bob Riger's still watching, but Bob Riger told me to take some allergy medication. I need to acknowledge his comment on that earlier because I'm going to try about anything next time I fly. It's only when I land. Very bizarre. Michael Rudolph wants Grandma Got Ran Over by a Reindeer. And There Goes Mark wants all three Rodney Crowells. I like Rodney Crowell. Shame on the Moon. Let's find him that third one. So there's two Rodney Crowells. Yeah, there's Bob Riger. He's still hanging out. Thank you, Mr. Riger. All right, let's put up this print. So allergy medication. Yeah, man, right when I land, right behind my ears, it feels like I'm getting tortured. So right behind my ears it feels like ice picks are going up in me. I mean, my mom was like, son, you're freaking me out. And I was like, oh, I took out my headphones. I said, I feel like my head's about to explode. And this guy turned over because I think I didn't realize how loud I was, like groaning. I mean, I was in pain. I never had it that bad before. I was like, oh. That was me making that kind of sounds on the plane. Everybody was like, dude, I wish this guy would be quiet. But I was in pain. I had never had anything like that happen to me. That intense. This is Prince, Delirious and Horny Toad. It has the poster sleeve. Prince with the poster sleeve. Beautiful vinyl. Light sleeve scuffing because of the way it was stored. But other than that, it's a $10 start. Okay? $10 start on Prince, Delirious. All right, here's some more singles. I've got Janie Freaky, Always Have, Always Will. Tennessee Ernie Ford, Perfect Pairs for Pea Pickers. North to Alaska, Johnny Horton. Another Rodney Crowell, Ashes by Now. And then Rye Cooter, The Girl from Texas. And Ace Cannon, Rough. That's a promo. And those are all $6.99. Are these quarter ounce too? Let me figure out what these are. Okay, so here is another Britiana option. These are $16. These are 1/10 Britianas. $18, excuse me. These are 1/10 Britianas, $18 on these. Okay, I've already sold some out of this tube, so let me do this one, yeah. So same thing, these are 1/10. 2026 King Charles Britannias, and those are $18. So I've got quarter ounce, and then I've got those, okay? Very cool. Let's set all those back here. Right there for right now. And then we have, there goes Mark, wants the other Rodney Crowell for $6.99. And then Michael Rudolph on the 10th ounce. Have I opened? Which one have I opened? This one. All right, let's give him one of those. And thank you, sir. And that's sold to Michael Rudolph for $18, okay? Probably this entire table of miscellaneous is going to be for Michael tonight on coins. Unless somebody else steps up to the bag. Oh, there went my ear again. It sounds like it just got electrocuted or something. Whew. Not a nice feeling. All right, these are all $6.99. We have John Conley, the old school. Flat and Scruggs like a Rolling Stones. Wow, these are cool to see for $6.99. Johnny Cash 302 from Sun. You're the nearest thing to heaven. Johnny Cash, I just thought you'd like to know. Roseanne Cash, 7-year ache. Johnny Burnett, you're 16. Brooke Benton, Think Twice for My Baby. The Pipkins, Gimme That Ding. And the Flying Burrito Brothers, Cody promo. Those are all $6.99. Okay. So the first and the most popular gold offering we have is this. We've almost sold all these. These are 1/1000th gold, 9999999, and these are $45. So it looks like the American flag, has all the specs, and then that looks like a $100 bill with Mr. Franklin, and those are 1/1000th gold, $45. I think we had 20 of those. We're down to 3. RC, which is Roseanne Cash, is sold to Leslie Holt. There goes Mark, you're second. So that left Flying Burrito Brothers, the Pipkins, Brooke Benton, Johnny Burnett, Johnny Cash, both on Sun, Flat and Scruggs, and then John Conley. Okay? Michael Rudolph wants at least 1 gold. I'm going to go ahead and make Prince a buy it now. If anybody wants Prince, it's a $10 buy it now. There's some more 1/1000th gold for $45. And Prince is a buy it now for 10. There he is. Chad is back. Denise and Oso have hopped on the feed. I am here for a couple hours tonight. Paul stopped about 10:30. I got here about 10:30. Me and him talked probably for a half hour. I went live at 11. It's now 12:20. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is this. Let's start from the bottom. Christina Curtis gets Prince for 10. 2 gold sold. 1 to Jay Beach and 1 to Jay Beach, and then 1 to of course Michael Rudolph. And then we just sold Burrito Brothers to There Goes Mark. Okay, we got that. That was right here. The Flying Burrito Brothers, There Goes Mark. So there, we sold Roseanne, There Goes Mark Burrito, Jay Beach on gold, Michael on gold, Christina Curtis on Prince. Got it. All right, let's do some more buy it nows then. It's too late to turn back now. I believe. It's too late to turn back now. All right, so first thing we have here is Toussaint McCall. Nothing takes the place of you. I need to wait on that one. I need to wait on these, but here, man, here's a whole set. So here's all 5 Gremlins for $49.99. They're all sealed too. Gremlin Story 5, Story 4, Story 3, Story 2, and Story 1. And these are all sealed. We'll say $49.99 for the complete set sealed on the Gremlins. Okay, all 5 of them, $49.99. Tracy Songer on Toussaint McCall for $6.99. And then here comes some more. Johnny Taylor, Who's Making Love. Curtis Mayfield, Get Down. Urban Cowboy with the Eagles, Lion Eyes, and Johnny Lee. Vince Vance and the Valance, Bomb Iran. And then we have Shaving Cream, Beanie Bell. And this is unusual, Grateful Dead, Alabama Getaway, and Far From Me. That's $6.99. La la la. Oh, man. Oh. I think we was in New York. We was going through all the casinos. We walked inside of New York, and they had those, you know, like massage things right there out in the lobby. You just sit down in the chair, and I did that once, and then I guess technically it was last night. I was down in the Bellagio and down by the poker room. You know, they have the huge poker room where they're all in there playing Texas Hold'em. And they keep people there like right outside for the poker players to go get a massage. And I did that last night. And about 2 a.m. and I'm sore. I mean, she physically hurt me. I had never had a kind of massage like that, and it's honestly almost, I mean, I feel better, but I am literally sore. I'd never had that kind of, I've never experienced anything like that. Jay Beach on the Grateful Dead. Paul Brothers gets the Gremlin set for $49.99. Thank you on that one. Okay, so we still got Beanie Bell, Vince Valance, Urban Cowboy, Curtis Mayfield, and Johnny Taylor. So that was well worth it, though. I didn't realize I even had muscles in my lower back until she started digging her thumb inside of them. I was like, oh my gosh. So I didn't know. It's kind of those. I liked where those. When I was over there in the mall, it feels like everybody was looking at you. You know, I was over there in New York, and they had like 5 of those chairs laid out. You know, you're just kind of like sitting with your head in that thing. This one, I was like, man, I'd never have. She's getting kind of rough. She was getting kind of rough with me. We have 1/1000th gold here. These are Angel of Independence. So more 1/1000th gold. Here's a different one. These look like the Libertad from, you know, the Mexico coin. And these are the same price, $45. Angel of Independence. Angel of Independence, $45 on that one. Okay? All right, so there's those and there's those. And then was there another claim? I don't think there was yet until right now on the gold. Michael Rudolph wants this. Okay? So that's sold for $45 to Michael Rudolph. Thank you on that one. Let's go through some more singles too. Oh, yeah, I'm going to go to the gym tonight just to lift weights and see what, if I pull any of these muscles back here, not in a bad way, but to see, because I was like, man, I've never had soreness down in that area before. Pat Benatar, hit me with your best shot, a jukebox promo. Johnny Guitar Watson, a real mother for you. Johnny Cash, Ballad of a Teenage Queen. Johnny Cash, Folsom Prison Blues. The Five Americans, Con Man. John and Robin, Dr. John, the Medicine Man. Jerry Lee Lewis, Sweet Little 16. And Jerry Lee Lewis, Frankie and Johnny. Okay, here's another gold offering. I like this one. Zeus. Zeus is $45. Okay? $45 on this. Zeus. $45. So there is another 1/1000th gold. I think that one's cool. Zeus. And that one's also $45. So we've had the American flag. We have the Angel of Independence. There's Zeus. And the first thing we're going to do, though, is tag Folsom Prison to Chris Frazier. This one's on a different label. It looks kind of odd. It's on a, like, black font. That is sold to Chris Frazier. Sweet Little 16, and the flip is How's My Ex Treating You on Sun 379. And, of course, Michael Rudolph wants a Zeus Gold for $45. Thank you, Michael Rudolph. All right, there's those. Wish I could have been here for the full show tonight, but just wasn't possible. Well, it was possible, but I was going to put, right after getting back from vacation, I was going to put myself literally in a another bind right off the bat if I didn't have slept. Just getting back from a restful vacation, I was going to put myself right into a bind if I didn't go home and sleep. I would have been up for another 24 hours trying to be right back to my normal routine after an awesome reset. Denise gets Jerry Lee Lewis, so shout out to Paul for holding it down another 5 hours. We got Jerry Lee Lewis, Invitation to Your Party. The Cars, Who's Going to Drive You Home tonight. How about Less Than Zero, The Bangles, from the movie Less Than Zero, The Bangles, Hazy Shade of Winter. A white label promo, BB King, Ain't Nobody Home. Gloria Estefan, My Rhythm's Gonna Get You. And this is a cool one, Burning Down the House. Burning Down the House. And that, of course, is Talking Heads. Those are all $6.99. Let's try to find another gold. So the next thing I have... Okay, these are the next 1/1000th gold. These are $45. These are Silent Night, Holy Night. Once again, 1/1000th gold. Very cool. And all these are government minted coins, by the way. These are all actually legitimate government minted gold coins here. That's the next one, the Silent Night, Holy Night. John Griffin on the Bangles for $6.99. Jay Beach on the Cars, Who's Going to Drive You Home tonight. There goes Mark on Talking Heads. And Michael Rudolph on Gold. You got it. Gloria Estefan, BB King, and Jerry Lee Lewis. Thank you on that. I had a feeling Michael would get on a roll wanting at least one of each of all these. American flag, Mexico, Zeus, and that. And then let's jump over here to these at $6.99. Rick Nelson of Stone Canyon Band, Garden Party. I Am Everyday People, one of my favorites from Sly and the Family Stone. The Eagles, Take It Easy. That's on the original label and the original Asylum sleeve. The OJs, Backstabbers. That's a cool song. Clarence Henry, Ain't Got No Home. And then we have Pat Benatar, Treat Me Right. Who did I say on the Cars? I messed up. My bad. That's Josh Brown, JCB83 on the Cars, not Jay Beach. The Cars, JCB83AZ. I think that's Josh Brown, right? Josh Brown gets the Cars. I messed up there. Sorry, the J's are running together. And I think I got the Cars. Yeah, I think that's Josh Brown. Okay. And all those are $6.99. Great selection there. Okay, so This one is my last one. I got to figure out how to pop it back into place. Let me see if I can do that right now, because this is a cool one. One second. See if it's a fit. Okay. And then it's this popped out of this. It actually popped out of the airtight, but I just fixed it. I don't know if that's going to fit in there or not anymore. So it's a UFO. I'll have them in the operations center try to make this a little bit better, but it's got popped out of the card, but it's still there, and I think you can work on getting that back in there if you're patient with it. UFO, that was our last one, $45 on that one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it back in its sleeve, and I'm just going to stick it down in there for right now. But that's what that is. It looks like a flying saucer. That was our last one. And I think I set that one aside the other night because it had popped out or somebody was going to get it. We ended up finding another one. So there's that. Rick Nelson, which was right here, that's sold to Christina. So we still got Pat Benatar and Clarence Henry and Backstabbers and Take It Easy and Sly and the Family Stone. Those are all $6.99, okay? And here's some more. There's one more, excuse me. Pat Benatar, Hit Me With Your Best Shot. Why don't you hit me with your best shot? Michael Rudolph does want the UFO goat. I will try my best to see if they can fix that. And hopefully they can, but that one's also $45, okay? Nice. Let me step over here and condition on Clarence Henry. Let's see here. Ain't got no more. Wolverine, thanks. I haven't seen Wolverine yet. He probably doesn't know I'm live right now. This is a pretty solid VG Plus. Hairline scuffing. Okay, that was actually the completion of one box. So let's open up the lid of another. See what's in this first one. Next one. Elton John's cover of Lucy in the Sky of Diamonds. Here's another cool one. Take Me to the Pilot. Jerry Lee Lewis, Jack Daniels, Old Number 7 promo. Neil Sedaka, You Gotta Make Your Own Sunshine. Mitch Ryder, Little Latin Lupe Lou. And then Donna Summer, Last Dance. Those are all $6.99. Okay, let me move some stuff around over here to get to this. And get to this. Are these the astronauts? This has been one of our best sellers in the copper stuff. These are 5-ounce colorized astronauts. Also, Adventure said he got his Christmas ornament. We had that discussion earlier. I don't think some people did, and I was disappointed, but we're going to work on trying to make that happen. Okay. So, these are really cool. We've sold a bunch of these. These are $22. They're 5-ounce copper, colorized. It looks like an astronaut, and the back is really cool, etched and engraved. 5 ounces, $9.99 copper. It comes in a huge airtight, and it's colorized. And those are $22. Those are $22. And I have literally a whole box full of them. The box is starting to make a dent because we've sold off a lot of them. So $6.99 on that one. Michael Rudolph wants one. That's sold to Michael Rudolph for $22. They're $22 if anybody else wants one as well. Okay? Nobody on these. That was Donna Summer, Mitch Ryder, Neil Sedaka, Jerry Lee Lewis, Elton, and Elton. Take Me to the Pilot, in the hand. All right, here's some more stuff for $6.99. Let me set that right there. All right, I have Olivia Newton-John, I Honestly Love You. Bob Lind, Elusive Butterfly. The Supremes, My World is Empty Without You. The Balloon Farm, A Question of Temperature. Crazy Elephant, Gimme Gimme Good Lovin'. And Cross Country, In the Midnight Hour. Those are all $6.99. Another Astronaut is sold to Christina Curtis for $22. You got it. Let's take that right over here for her. Putting all these on the miscellaneous table that are sold records. Thanks for everybody that invoices went out this week. So thanks to everybody who made a purchase last week. And thanks to everybody who's tuned in tonight, getting started on another new week. We're going to be here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Really going to try to get deep into the, I guess, weeds tonight and figure out what the themes this week are going to be. Lord's already sent me tomorrow's hot pictures. I got to get a grasp on new vinyl and restocks, and hopefully all that happens. We have another big week. The end of the year is approaching. So Cross Country, Crazy Elephant, Balloon Farm, The Supremes, Elusive Butterfly by Bob Lind, and Olivia Newton-John. Here comes some more for $6.99. Olivia Newton-John, Living in Desperate Times. Fox, Sweet on the Run. I messed that one up. It's Sweet Fox on the Run. Excuse me. This is really cool because it's a promotional from 7-Up. It's the Kingston Trio. It's called Cool Cargo, and it's a promotional record from 7-Up from the Kingston Trio. $6.99. This is cool. Genesis 3x3. It's one of the few ways you can get paper late. Great song by Genesis. That's a picture sleeve. $6.99. Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. I got 2 of those from Elton. And then Danielle, My Brother. All cool stuff there. $6.99. My ear is killing me. This pressurization still hadn't set in. I thought it was fixed, but the more I keep talking, the more it's like sweet. That was right here. This is sold to Chad Snyder. Tracy Songer wants Balloon from the last handful. That's over here, Chad. That was right here. The Balloon Farm. That's sold to Tracy. And she gets the Kingston Trio 7-Up. Thank you. So that left with Danielle, My Brother. 2 copies of Yellow Brick Road. And these things look like old stock or something. They're beautiful. And then There Goes Mark. Sweet's already sold. But I will give you Genesis. John Griffin next on Fox. And then Josh Brown next on Genesis. Here it's Clarence Henry Argo Record Club. Someone's got a catalog sticker 32 on it. Ain't Got No Home, Clarence Henry, Frogman. Trademark registered, Argo Record Corporation, Chicago, Illinois, made in the USA. Okay. All right, next coin-related item is our another copper. This is really cool. It's shaped like an F-14 Raptor. It's colorized, and these are also $22. Another copper collectible there. There they are, kind of still sealed. There's one for an example. Those are also $22. And then I've got one more copper item after this, but those are also $22. Denise said she will take Clarence Henry. That's sold to Denise. All right, let's put all these away. Michael Rudolph says he'll take one of those. I'll give you one of these that hadn't been unwrapped. And let's set that on the table for him for $22. Take me to the pilot, take me to the head. Okay, and then let's grab another handful of singles then. We have Merle Rush, Angel of the Morning. Bellamy Brothers, Do You Love As Good As You Look. The Good Girls, Love Is Like an Itching in My Heart, 1989 Motown. The Paragons, Good Memory Series, Florence. Chris Christopherson, Jesus Was a Capricorn. Chris Christopherson, Why Me? Another Rodney Crowell, Don't Need No Other Now. And then this one is James Brown, The Famous Flames, Nobody Knows, on a Yellow King label. $6.99 on that. Okay, so we've already shown this. Yep, this was We've already shown these. These are more Angel of Independence, Libertad, gold-looking things. We've already shown those. So I'm going to show two things at once then. I'm going to show this chibi, and then I'm going to show the next copper thing we have. So let's do that. This is the next copper thing we have. And then here is this chibi, which is, price please. Pretty cool one here. Like I said, I believe he'll probably be a future Hall of Famer. This is $125, and that's for Aaron Judge. So that's a chibi, 1 ounce silver, colorized. Aaron Judge, and then Love Thy Farmer. That's another 5 ounce copper. Same price, $22. Awesome etching back here on the back. Life is better on the farm. So there's those. So 1 ounce or 5 ounce copper, and then the Aaron Judge chibi, $125 and $22. Next is Crowell, Rodney Crowell. That's sold at There Goes Mark for $6.99, and that stack left James Brown, Chris Christopherson, the Paragons, the Good Girls, the Bellamy Brothers, and Merle Rush. Okay. Let's do another handful of singles right quick. These are all $6.99. We have the Cars. That one's Door to Door and Strap Me In. Roseanne Cash, I Wonder. Glenn Campbell, Southern Nights. Billy Joe, Keeping the Faith. I don't see that one as often. Crocodile Rock by Elton John. And then Genesis, No Reply at All. Those are all $6.99. Michael Rudolph says he'll take 1 copper Farmer, and he'll take the Aaron Judge chibi. Okay, so that's sold to him. Aaron Judge, $125, and then copper is sold to him for $22. Southern Night. Southern Nights. All right. John Griffin on Glenn Campbell. And Roseanne Cash sold to Leslie. Sold and sold. There Goes Mark was next on Campbell. Still got Genesis, Elton John, Billy Joel, and the Cars. Here comes another handful. These are all $6.99, including Snoopy versus the Red Baron, the Royal Guardsman, Stevie Wonder, Part-Time Lover, You Keep Me Hanging On, a great one by Vanilla Fudge, Chiquita by ABBA, The Circle, Red Rubber Ball, The Circle, Money to Burn, and Ain't Nothing Like the Real Thing, Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell, a classic Tamala Motown, $6.99 on that. Well, we're making a dent over here on our first coin and silver cart. We've gone through those and all that, and then it's time for this, which I have not brought out at all. Have not brought these out at all. These are $115. These have not been shown at all. $115 on these. This is a 2024 Mexico Libertad, a real Libertad, Golden Moon Edition colorized. $115. Look at that. Amazing colorization on that one. Golden Moon Edition. Front and back. At first I thought it was something Mortal Kombat, but it's not. Looks like the Libertad kind of dressed in a kind of goldish dress with a crescent moon that's really colorful and very golden. I've got three of those. They made 499. So this was a limited mintage of $499, $115. Okay, got 3 of those Libertads. These are all $6.99. Still got Marvin Gaye, Tammy Terrell, The Circle again, ABBA, Vanilla Fudge, Stevie Wonder, and the Royal Guardsman. Okay, let's do another handful right quick. These are all $6.99. Ain't No Sunshine When She's Gone, Bill Withers. My Mighty GTO by Jan and Dean. If You Leave, OMD, that's Orchestra Maneuvers in the Dark. The Rolling Stones, It's All Over Now. The flip on that one is Good Times, Bad Times. Ray Charles, Hard-Headed Hannah. Dolly Parton, Here You Come Again. And Convoy by C.W. McCall. Michael Rudolph does want one of the Libertads. There's 2 left if anybody else decides you want one. So to Michael Rudolph. All right. Appreciate that. Southern Nights. When did you? Probably going to finish, by the time we finish this box and show the rest of the coins, probably be 1 a.m., and that's probably where I'll stop tonight. We got Convoy, Dolly, Ray Charles, Rolling Stones, OMD, Jan and Dean, and Bill Withers, because some of these should have definitely sold. Probably go through these again another night when a few of the 45 buyers are back on here, because they will eat these alive. Jay Beach on the Stones. And Michael Rudolph from the Elton John selections earlier wants Crocodile Rock, Danielle, and Yellow Brick Road. Christina, you're next on the Stones. Let me find those right quick. He's looking for the Elton John collection. You know, only some of the best music ever written. I think that was a little further back. Yep, right here. So there's a Yellow Brick Road, and then there's Danielle. I think both of these were really nice. Yeah, I'll give you those two. All right, there's his trifecta on the Elton Johns. Thank you on that. All right, we'll go ahead and lay down a few more. For $6.99, we have Rare Earth, Would I'd Say. That's a cool one. Another Stones. This time it's 19th Nervous Breakdown. Grazing in the Grass, excuse me, that's a cool one. And then Lou Reed, Hey Babe, Walk on the Wild Side. Another Lou Reed, that's on the reissue label. And then the Blues Brothers, Rubber Biscuit, and the flip is Gimme Some Lovin'. So, pretty cool selection there, in my opinion. $6.99 on those. All right, let's officially get into a different card over here. I think we've knocked most of that stuff out. And now it's time for more. Whoa. One second. Almost had a disaster, that clothes rack falling over, but we're good to go. All right, so what hadn't been shown over here? I've got these. All right, here's more gold. A little bit heavier weight. Okay, here's a couple more gold options right here. Let me see what this says. Rocket ship. Okay, then we have more silver statues, but here's some more fractional gold. Excuse me for a second. Had to walk across the room to grab these. All right. So Chad Snyder on Blues Brothers. That's so to Chad Snyder. Jay Beach was second. Christina Curtis first on the Stone. Say some stuff from Sunday Show. Okay. Well, I always try to show as much as I can just in case that doesn't happen, but we should have plenty. We should have plenty. Well, I got, especially for pocket knives, Lou Reed, Walk on the Wild Side, Lou Reed, Walk on the Wild Side, Grazing in the Grass, and Rare Earth. Here's a couple more fractional gold, though. These are half gram, $110. And these are the Pitcairn Islands, and it's Ocean Wonders turtles. So it looks like a sea turtle, half gram gold. That's a UK territory or whichever, because King Charles is on there. I've got 3 of those. Those are 110. We'll call that the gold turtles. Those were pretty popular. I think we had 5 or 7 of those. And then this is a 1/200th gold, $100. So gold turtles 110, and then this is the Phoenix. Is that what this one is? Yeah, this is a gold Phoenix from a German mint. Also gold, and this is actually Ascension Island Phoenix. Yeah, 2025, 1/100th, and that one's $100. So, yeah, that's 2 more fractional gold offerings. All right, here comes some more singles for $6.99. I think this is where I left off. If not, then it's a whole new stack. Yep, this is where I left off. The Wall Song, Graham Nash and David Crosby. The Rascals, Glory, Glory. Stevie Wonder, That Girl. The Bee Gees, Someone Belonging to Someone. Johnny Rivers, Maybelline. Manfred Mann, The Mighty Quinn. And America, I've Been Through the Desert on a Horse of No Name. Let's do one more. Merry Christmas, Darling, The Carpenters Promo. Carpenters Promo, $6.99 on those. Okay. Mike Rudolph wants one German Gold Phoenix. That one was $100. That was this one. And he also wants a other gold for $110, which is the turtles. Okay. Love the turtles. Let's put those away. Sold and sold to him. It's too late to turn back now. I believe. Falling in. Okay. So $6.99. There is that. America, Manfred Mann, Johnny Rivers, the Bee Gees, Stevie Wonder, Convoy. Okay, that was in another stack, right? Convoy. Let me see if I can find that. Go broke. I think that was the last thing I was going to show. John Griffin on Convoy. I think I'll stop there. You're right. We need to spread some of that out, right, Michael? I would keep showing if there's other people buying it. Some people's bought some other stuff. We sold a copper. We sold another thing here and there to some other people. But there's actually, yeah, because everything else is like $100 plus. I was going to see if I had any other cheap. I think everything else is gold or silver statues. So, yeah, we probably should stop there. Michael's like, can I spread let's spread this stuff out. Let's get more bang for my buck. Sunday will never be the same. Spanking Our Gang. Bread, Guitar Man. That's such a great song. Fabian, Tiger. Van Halen, And the Cradle Will Rock. And I say rock on. Rare Earth, Good Time Sally. John Travolta, Olivia Newton-John, You're the One That I Want. Nat King Cole, Ask Me. Nat King Cole, Toyland. And Joy to the World, Three Dog Night. All these are $6.99. $6.99. Okay. Josh Brown wants to pay for Denise's Clarence Henry 45. Denise, you just got a free record. Congratulations. Your Clarence Henry record just got paid for by Josh Brown. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Joy to the World, Nat King Cole, John Travolta, Rare Earth, Van Halen, Fabian, Bread, and Spanking Our Gang. We're almost done with this box. It will probably be near perfect timing when we're done with this 45 box at the top of the hour. The Beach Boys, Heroes and Villains. They Call Me Mella Yellow. Donovan, Cool in the Company Sleeve. Mike Post, The Rockford Files. The Supremes, Love Is Like an Itch in My Heart. Genesis, that's... Wow, what Genesis is this? I think that's a different Genesis. That's on Buddha. I'm about to say that's early Genesis, but they never was on Buddha at all. Journey to the Moon, Part 1. Don Williams, Catfish Baits. And John Mellencamp, Get a Leg Up. Let's do one more. The Jackson 5 Dancing Machine. Bill Withers is still available. No, Bill Withers is actually surprisingly still available. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Only darkness every day. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. All right, so we got Mike Post, so to Tracy Songer. Still got the Jackson 5, John Mellencamp, Don Williams, Genesis, early, different Genesis, not Phil Collins or Peter Gabriel, the Supremes, Donovan, and the Beach Boys. All right, Scott Oman wants Jackson 5 and Van Halen. There is Jackson 5, and Van Halen was right here. And the cradle will rock. Pink Floyd. I have a pre-order ready. The next two lots are King Diamond and Van Halen. Next in line is probably going to be Pink Floyd and Elvis. I think that's going to be some of my next two. I just got to figure out which Pink Floyd I want to do. I think I want to do the Pink Floyd Animals logo. The font for Pink Floyd Animals, or maybe the wall. I just don't know. Pink Floyd has a lot of cool logos. So we're going to have to take... I might even make a poll in the group. We could even do something that just looks like Dark Side of the Moon. We could make it look like that. That would be pretty cool. Where's the Animals font? Pink Floyd Animals logo. I like this one. Just imagine the animals taking off, but like that. I like it like that. It's kind of like a brick type font they use for animals. It was on the back of the jacket. Yeah. That's how they wrote it on the back of the jacket. I like that one, but maybe because that's my favorite album by them. These two are sold to Scott Oman. $6.99 on these. We've got The Four Seasons, Who Loves You. Tony Joe White, Save Your Sugar for Me. The Chambers Brothers, Let's Do It Together. Lauren Green, The Man. The Sounds of Silence, Simon & Garfunkel. Now here's Genesis. That's Land of Confusion. And Jefferson Airplane, Don't You Want Somebody to Love? And The Rascals, A Ray of Hope. Yeah, so we'll eventually get to a lot of bands. I've kind of jumped ahead and done some. I had a few customers that have really begged me to do some custom ones. Like, I don't know how many King Diamonds we're going to sell, but I did promise somebody I would post a King Diamond by the end of the year, and he's almost begged me for it. And I feel like I'll be able to sell at least 10. So that one was really niche, King Diamond. I know we're probably going to sell a bunch of Van Halens. Wait till y'all see the Van Halen ones. The Van Halens are awesome. I mean, they are... Let me see if I've got videos. They are awesome. I don't have... I think I've just got a picture right now. Yeah, hold on one second. You'll kind of be able to see it. It's kind of hard to show, but man, yeah, the Van Halen is going to kind of come in a stand. So that's 3D, of course, and it comes in a stand because it would look weird with a flat bass and it might not be balanced well. So, man, imagine that changing colors like Black Sabbath. I think we might sell more of those than Kiss. That's an awesome one there. Truly awesome. All right. Okay, we have Bachman Turner Overdrive, Look Out for Number 1. Come On Eileen, Dexy's Midnight Runners. 8 Miles High, The Byrds. Sweet Caroline, Bump Bump, Gene McDaniels, Point of No Return. Sinatra, My Kind of Town. And the flip is That's Life. The Elvis, we're going to make it look like the 68 comeback special. You know, where he's standing and singing for the CBS special, and the big Elvis lighted bulb, it just says Elvis behind him. So it's going to look like Kiss, where it's like a light bulb sign. but it's going to say Elvis, just big block letters, Elvis. I think that's going to be super popular. All right, we got Dexy's Midnight Runner sold to Chad Snyder. John Griffin was second on that one. I got BTO, Sinatra, Gene McDaniels, Neil Diamond, and the Byrds. 8 miles high. Okay, this might be possibly the last handful here. Tears for Fears, Mother's Talk, and Sea Song. That's from Songs from the Big Chair. The Rainy Days and Mondays Always Bring Me Down. The Kingsmen, the original, doing Louie Louie. That's a reissue label, but that's the original, most popular version. PJ Proby, That Means a Lot. Ted Nugent, Need You Bad. John Waite with his hit Missing You. Cat Scratch Fever, Ted Nugent. Johnny Cash and June Carter, No Need to Worry. And Gordon Lightfoot, Sundown. Chad Snyder on Tears for Fears. Now, I'm going to say this right now. At some point, I'm going to go through all these again because there was a lot of almost great stuff left behind. So, probably maybe even tomorrow when I tell everybody we're going to do 45s, we might start with those. I'll just go through them a lot faster. And then there's still 1, 2, 3, 4 more boxes I've never gone through. And I'm sure John will have more to add to that tomorrow when he's here on his normal shift. He told me it's still endless back there. Plus, we keep buying collections that have more 45s in it. So it's not like we're running out. Anybody, this would be a great time to ask about lights or anything about shipping or invoicing. That's probably the last records I'm going to show. 1 o'clock. I'm going to try to stick to a schedule this week, starting at 5 and 5:30 and stopping at 1 and 1:30. That'll give me time to do extra stuff to get ready for the next show. That way we're not on here too late. I have more time to order more vinyl, time to order more collectibles, time to get more stuff ready so we can show it during the right time at night. But that's what we're doing right now. So I'm going to say this. Thank y'all for watching. And here is the final call for discussion tonight. Final call for discussions tonight. If you don't have anything, I'll stop. Pearl Jam lights. Yeah, Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains. Alice in Chains will probably be the first one. Or Pearl Jam. Man, Soundgarden though. Soundgarden's got a cool logo. Soundgarden's got a really cool logo. They've got a cool font. Alice in Chains. Jamie's crying. Looking for more Yes titles. Yes, you told me you needed a Josh earlier. I kind of remembered that, but the new vinyl's kind of out of sorts right now because I don't know where anything is. But I'm assuming you need a copy of Big Generator, or was it 90125? I'm pretty sure you said Big Generator. I will try my best to track some of that down. Okay? I think I know what you're talking about, or I think I know what you're looking for. I'll try to track some of that down, okay? And I'll be here. I don't have anything coming up except we're not going to be doing a sale Christmas Day. Christmas Eve, I think my family thing is going to be Christmas Day. So I have had sales before on Christmas Eve. You know, there's some people who don't do stuff either, or some people that, you know, would rather be here probably buying records than with their family. So they're like, Chad, I'm not going to my family function. I'd rather sit here and buy records from you. But I think I'm here for the rest of the year except Christmas Day. I always do a sale New Year's Eve. Christmas Eve is up in the air, but I'll be here probably every day, including Sundays. I'll be here every day, including Sundays, except Christmas Day for sure. So y'all have got me probably for, there's 2, 4, 5, 12, 14, there's 16 days left in the year. I'll be here 15 of them. I'll be here 15. So 16 days left in the year. I'll be here live streaming at least 120 of those hours to finish the year strong with sales. Sales meaning physically selling something, but also meaning stuff on sale, possibly Christmas Eve night, and then possibly New Year's Eve for sure. That's when we do crazy stuff with new vinyl. New Year's Eve, I basically start giving away stuff. It's you don't want to be taxed on inventory. You don't want to be taxed on inventory, and you don't want to have too much money tied up in inventory. So it's like you got to cash flow it so you don't pay taxes on it. So sometimes it's good to even take a loss. So I'll probably do something like that on Christmas Eve and then again on New Year's Eve, the Eves. The famous Coletco Eve sales. Yeah, Funko. I got to order more Funkos probably just to discount them later. I hope not, but yeah, we are kind of low stock on Funkos. But I haven't been trying to get too crazy with them. Funkos still sell pretty good, but I only order ones that I know y'all are going to like music and movies, like nostalgic movies or the food stuff like Hershey Kisses and Coca-Cola. Everything else I've been kind of hesitant on. But yeah, and I think you're still looking for a Dorothy Funko, right, John Griffin? I wish they had those Fears all over the country so everybody could go experience that movie I watched. If everybody could go watch that, I would be so happy knowing they could watch. Everybody could experience that Sphere without having to fly to Vegas. And it's not too expensive, the actual cost of the movie, but just getting to Vegas and booking a hotel. And so you did get Dorothy. Okay. Somebody's on a waiting list for a Funko I never could get, and they discontinued them, or they cut them out or whatever. All right, well, I'm going to do exactly what I said I was about to go do. I'm about to go sort through all this vinyl. I haven't read emails since Thursday. I've got 3,093 emails, and my other account has 530. And that's not just like where I hadn't cleaned it out. That's legitimately where I have not read emails. And so I've got 3,600 emails, 176 text messages, 16 phone calls. That's what I'm going to go work on right now so I can get caught up to start a new week. Vacation's over. Vacation's over. Back to normal Coletco. Thanks everybody for watching. A nice 2-hour sale. Got a lot sold, including some coins and vinyl. Thanks everybody. I'll be back tomorrow for more shenanigans, and we'll be off to a great start this week. Okay? Thank you. I'm signing off. I got to make the videos. Good night, and see y'all tomorrow at about 5 or 5:30. Okay? Should be able to get home and get in bed and start a new strict schedule.